Hi you guys, I cannot believe it is the end of April already. Like, the weather's gorgeous, there's birds outside, but it's the end of April. Last night my husband worked super late, so we ended up not getting the kids to bed until after 10, so they were grouchy when we woke them up this morning, and my son ended up slapping a kid at school. Mind you, the kid kind of deserved it, just a little bit, but of course I didn't tell the assistant principal that. Thankfully he didn't get in big trouble. He just got reminded, tell the kid to knock it off. Don't, knock him out. That's been my morning, and my eyebrows were fighting with me, my lashes were fighting with me. It was one thing after another. I wanted to make sure that I sat down today and got this video filmed for you guys before it completely slipped my mind, because I really like making favorites videos and I hope you guys like them too. And this month is kind of a mix. I don't have a ton of makeup favorites just because I have so many new products that I'm trying out. I can't quite label them as favorites yet. So I'm just going to start by telling you my favorite show right now that I am so freaking obsessed over. And let me tell you how good this show is. I started watching it on my own when my husband was doing something else, like he was playing a video game or something on his phone, and I started watching it, and then he saw it and started watching it a little bit and was like, okay, you are not allowed to watch this when I'm not home because I want to watch it too. So that kind of slowed down my trajectory and watching it a little bit. Normally I will try and binge watch shows really, really fast so I don't have to wait. But we've been watching about one episode a night, every other night, depending on our schedule. Now, I was bad and I did go on a website and read the synopsis of each episode all the way through the series because I'm terrible like that. And if I can get spoilers on something, I typically will. But he doesn't know, and I kind of got fussed at just a little bit. He was joking. He's fine with it. We're only on episode 5 of actually watching it, but it's Boys Over Flowers, which is on Netflix. And if you don't know, it's a Korean drama, and these are geared very much towards teens and young adults, and it's hilarious. It's sad and happy and funny, and some parts are so overly dramatic and blown up, and you'll have super sad music over montages, and it's just fantastic. It's brilliant. It's actually a really good storyline. I love the storyline. It's fantastic. But the actual filming and everything is just so cheesy and so adorable that it's addicting. And you so find yourself rooting for characters that's the guy you need to be with, or no, that's the guy you need to be with. You do have to pay full attention to it if you're like me and you can't speak Korean, because these subtitles go really, really fast. But for me, that's actually a good thing. I relax more watching shows with subtitles, because if I can listen to a show, then typically I'm doing something else. So to have something I have to have my full focus on is actually a really good thing. But it's a very light, easy show to watch. It's not super dramatic or super stressful. Yeah, bad things happen, but usually it's a bad thing and then it's fixed. And it's a bad thing and it's fixed. And it's not like a lot of the American shows where it's constant violence and death. And yeah, there's violence, but it's more tame violence, like water balloons and a guy occasionally, getting punched in the mouth. It's not like what you typically see on American television. And what's funny about that is their dramas, Asian dramas, tend to be more lighthearted, but their horror movies are actually a lot worse and a lot more gory and creepy than American movies. What's the one I'm thinking of? Let me look up the name of it real quick. Okay, so this movie I'm thinking of is called Battle Royale, and it used to be on Netflix. I don't think they have it on anymore, but I actually watched this all the way back in high school. It's a really old movie, but it is basically Hunger Games, but in Japan, and a whole lot darker, way darker, and it was so good, but slightly cheesy, but still really, really good. And I remember I had a friend in high school who actually showed it to me, and I fell in love with the movie. And then my husband, a couple of years after we were married, it finally showed up on Netflix, and I was like, oh, you have to see this movie. You are going to love it. He's like, what in the world is this? I'm like, you're going to love it. Just trust me. Put it on. He fell in love with it. And when Hunger Games came out, I actually hesitated and held off reading and watching Hunger Games because I was like, that's Battle Royale. They just ripped that concept. And of course, the author of Hunger Games said she never saw Battle Royale. And of course, if you're a writer, it's very easy to come up with a concept that matches someone else's without ever seeing their work. So I don't think she actually copied it, but the similarities are very, very close. So if you loved Hunger Games and you're into like really, really dark, creepy kind of horror movies, definitely check out Battle Royale. I went on like a 5-minute tangent about Asian TV shows. Okay. Oh, and Battle Royale is Japanese. It's not Korean. Boys Over Flowers is Korean and really, really light and fun. Anyway, I'm going to stop now. All right, so the next favorite I have for this month is candy. It was Easter, which is one of my favorite candy holidays. I think that the candy that you get at Easter and the different varieties you get are actually better than what comes out at Halloween. Like, I love Halloween for the costumes and the drama and the glamour and all of that. But I love Easter for the candy, so I want to show you two of our favorites. First up is the Cadbury Mini Eggs. These are basically dairy milk in little eggs and covered with a coating. And yeah, me and my husband are addicted to these. And then the other one is Robin's Eggs Whoppers, which are molten milk balls, again coated in candy. Man, those bags are loud. Anyway, the other candy I absolutely love are the chocolate Cadbury cream eggs, the ones that are like a chocolate egg filled with a giant amount of fudge in the middle. I didn't get any this year though, because in the past couple of years, I don't know what they've changed in their formula, but they're actually too sweet for me because they're so big. They're so sweet and so sugary, I can't eat them anymore. These candies are smaller, so I can have like 1 or 2 and be happy. But the cream eggs are really, really big and they're just too much at one shot. So if you're new to my channel, you probably don't know this, but I do not know how to drive. I cannot drive. When I was 16, I did get my temps. I actually bought a car. I went through, I did a class. I learned how to drive. I was ready to take the test. And then I couldn't take the test because the horn on my car didn't work. And then there was something else wrong with my mom's car where we couldn't use her car for me to test in either. Apparently they inspect the car if there's anything wrong with it, even if it's something stupid, then you can't take the test. I'm like, I don't need a horn. Trust me, I can scream out this window louder than a horn, and I can guarantee you they'll get the point a lot more clearly with my mouth. Fast forward several years later, I got very busy, completely forgot how to drive, ended up not taking the test, getting married, having kids, constantly busy, and not enough time to relearn how to drive. So I am actually in the process of learning how to drive again, completely. And when I originally learned, I learned in a tiny little Saturn. Like, it's a 4-door car, but the thing was like teensy tiny. Like I could probably like fit it in a shoebox. Very easy to learn to drive in and to maneuver in. Now, I'm learning how to drive in a town and country, and a long wheelbase town and country, because that's all we have. We have 2 long wheelbase town and countries, just because A, we have a lot of kids, and B, I like having extra room and I like the comfort that you get in a minivan. I don't give 2 craps about the stereotypes with, oh, I don't want to drive a minivan, da da da. You're old if you drive a minivan. Do you know how much stuff I can shove in that car when I go to Target? Like, it's ridiculous. I can go shopping all day long and fill that thing up. Plus, I've got heated seats, I've got a video system, all kinds of good stuff. Like, that car is awesome. Nobody is convincing me otherwise that my minivan is not fantastic. But it is very difficult to learn to drive. I've been practicing for a few weeks now, and I can drive on the streets really, really good. Here in Ohio, you just have to be able to drive on standard streets and around a neighborhood, and then pass a maneuverability test. You don't have to get on the highway or do parallel parking. And I've got pretty much street driving down. I haven't been on the highway yet, and pretty much I'm going to put that off as long as possible. I've got the street driving done. That's no big deal. but the maneuverability. I actually have a bunch of milk jugs, and I'm gonna have to get some dowel rods because they have you go through these cones and maneuver around these cones. And it's actually very, very, very difficult to pass the maneuverability portion, just because it's nothing like parallel parking, because you're only moving like half a car length instead of a full car length, but you have to do it like in a solid motion. You can't pause or stop or anything. So the way you turn the wheel has to be very, very specific, and you have to learn how to do it in the car you're taking the test in, because where you land on the cones is very much based on the dimensions of your car. And I will be taking my test in my giant car, and it was difficult as heck for me to learn maneuverability in my tiny little Saturn, and now I have to learn it in the jumbo minivan. So that's actually part of what I'm spending my weekend doing, is going to be driving around cones in the local college parking lot to make sure I can actually pass that portion of the test, because I want to take my test as soon as possible, just because it's getting more and more difficult with the kids in school and not being able to take them places or get to school when they need to get there, etc., etc. So I'm learning to drive. So that's a favorite, as well as kind of an unfavorite, because I don't love driving. It's nice to be able to go places and do things, but if I could have someone else drive me around forever, I would love it, because I just don't love it. It might be something that once I'm more comfortable with it, I grow to love, but it's a good thing in the end, and I will make sure I let you guys know when I pass my test. My goal is to pass it on my first time taking it, just because I'm a perfectionist and I hate failing things. I absolutely cannot stand failing things. It drives me nuts. So I want to pass it on the first time around. And also because I really don't want to be embarrassed in front of the person giving the test, because I'm guessing I'm going to get the look for being my age and not having a driver's license. Because I've had people constantly question me, why don't you have a driver's license? Did it get suspended? Are you a bad driver? Like, no, I just never had one. Which would be perfectly normal if I lived in a place like London or New York. But because I live out in the middle of the sticks, you can't drive. They're like, how do you get anywhere? It's a 20-minute drive just to get to, you know, a grocery store. I'm like, you kind of don't. And Amazon's my friend. Again, with rambling, apparently I'm in a talkative mood today. You're welcome, and I'm sorry. So next up for my favorites is more of the like makeup cool stuff. First up is this hair clip. And I know this is weird. You're like, it's a claw clip. Why is this on your favorites? Because this is the most magical claw clip ever. This claw clip is how old now? It's like 13, 14 years old. Yeah, this thing is old. I use this in the shower. It's not rusted. It's not broken. I use this probably 3 to 4 times a week. I've used this dyeing my hair. It's not stained. It's in perfect condition. I've used this 3 to 4 times a week for 13 years. Minimum 13 years. Guess how much it cost? $1. I picked this up when I was in high school at an adorable little Asian makeup and hair store downtown back when I lived in the city. And I got everything at this little Asian store because the lady was so adorable and yet so mean, and her poor husband, oh my gosh. But everything was really, really affordable. The stuff I bought there has lasted forever. Like, I had a second one of these and it only died because my husband was playing with it one day and broke one of the plastic bits off, because the plastic's a tiny bit brittle, I guess. On that one it was, at least. These ones you can still bend them and they're fine. But yeah, this little $1 claw clip that I bought with my money from working at Wendy's when I was in high school still holds up, and I still use it every day. I love stuff that will hold up and last, especially when it's something cheap like that you think, okay, it's throw away, no big deal. And this claw clip has been with me through some stuff. Anyway, that's a favorite because I just saw it in my shower this morning when I was washing my hair, and I was like, you know what, I have not given this poor claw clip enough credit, so it really deserved it. Alright, next thing up is also another hair thing, and it's something I got recently. I got this in a Sephora play box, and this is the Verb Ghost Oil. I love this stuff. This is so good. I've tried a bunch of hair oils, and I typically don't like them because my hair tends to be very oily, but it tends to be very dry on the ends and lacking in water moisture at the ends. So usually when I put an oil on, it doesn't do anything. It just kind of sits on top of my hair and makes it look bad. This oil is so lightweight, and I don't know what's different about it, but it really sinks into my hair. And I used it all over my hair today. It's on my ends, and of course my ends are damaged, so they do look a little bit fried, but look at how shiny they look, just from a couple drops of this. And I got this probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, I'm guessing off the top of my head, and I've barely used it. It's still up to here because you only need a couple drops. So I am definitely going to keep using that. I really, really enjoy it, and I recommend it if you have hair that tends to frizz or likes to break or be damaged, because I've noticed that this really gives a really pretty, nice finish to my hair, and it helps make it look healthier than it actually is, which is a nice thing. Next up is the lip pencil that I'm wearing right now, and this is the NYX Suede Matte Lip Pencil, or Matte Lip Liner, and this is in the shade 04 Soft Spoken. This is just the prettiest color ever. I love that they came out with liners, matte liners, to match their whole range of like matte lip products, and I love using these on their own. Now, I don't love the formula of their suede liquid lipsticks. I find them a little too heavy, but the colors are gorgeous. Like this color is just so freaking pretty. It is beautiful. I wish that they made this color in their soft matte lip creams instead of their liquid suede. Make Soft Spoken in a soft matte lip cream formula, because that would be perfect, and I'd have to own like 10 of them. Now, these are slightly drier because they are a matte lip pencil, but they're very creamy, and what I like to do is before I put that on, I'll take a little bit of this. It's my Ultra Repair Lip Therapy from First Aid Beauty, or you could use like any lip gloss you like and just put a little bit in the middle of my lips and spread it out. And then I put this on top because I do have very dry lips, and that helps it from looking too thick or cakey, and it goes on nice and smooth. And the last thing that I wanted to share with you guys for my April favorites are lashes. I have been loving false lashes lately. I am wearing a pair today. The ones I have on right now are the Ardell Demi Wispies, which I just picked up in a recent haul. I don't know why I've been wanting to wear lashes lately. I think I've just been enjoying the look a little bit more. I think it balances out heavier makeup looks, having a heavier lash. And I've noticed that while my lashes are still very, very long, and if I layer the right mascaras, they're still often confused for being fake lashes. I get asked all the time, Alta, are your eyelashes real? I'm like, yes, they are. I just layer mascaras. But my eyelashes are very long, but they're like my hair. They're very, very thin. So I like to be able to add a little bit more drama on occasion, and I've been wearing false lashes more and more just because I practiced putting them on more, and it got so much easier. But I wanted to show you guys my favorites right now. My 2 favorite brands are Ardell and Eylure. I love the drugstore ones. I can't justify spending $30 on like one pair of lashes. To me, that's insane, because if I'm editing and I fall asleep and that lash gets bent, it's like done for. I'd rather spend a couple dollars. But my favorites right now are the Ardell Demi Wispies because I love them. They're very, very natural. You can wear them with a more subdued look, and it looks perfectly fine. My other favorites are just the standard wispies, which are much longer than the Demi Wispies. And the Demi Wispies start short at the front and get longer towards the back, so you have more of that like cat eye effect. Whereas the wispies are long all the way through. So these are definitely slightly more dramatic. And then if I want to go full out lashes up to my eyebrows, full-on glamour, I go for these ones. And these are the Allure Vegas Nay Grand Glamour Lashes. I have to trim these down quite a bit because I have smaller eyes. I did keep the 2 little pieces that I trimmed off because occasionally if I just want to add a small amount of lash to a specific area, I'll use like a shorter section if I have a big enough section that I trimmed off. But these are very thick, very heavy, and take some getting used to. But they are stunning when you put them on. If you're going out for an evening or an event where you're going to be photographed and you want your eyes to massively pop, these are the way to go. But I would definitely recommend getting a couple pairs and wearing them before the event so you can get used to them, because they feel very heavy on your eyes the first few times you wear them. And they are much more difficult to apply than like the wispies with the invisible bands, because they have a very, very thick band on them. So definitely, if you want to try something like this, go for it. Just practice first. So that is everything for my April favorites. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun showing you guys what I loved this month. And let me know down below, what are you loving this month? What's your favorite Easter candy, or just your favorite candy in general? I would love to know. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can also keep up with me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. I am pretty much everywhere, and all the links for those are down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye!